Hello and welcome to the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, where today I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new G425 drivers from PING. Hi there, Ryan Rastall here once again for Golfshake.com. I'm the PGA professional here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. And as I've said today, we're taking a look at the brand new G425 driver range. But before we do that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. See loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. So whenever PING releases a new driver, it makes waves, okay? And this one has been no exception. We've seen it on tour a little bit over the last few months. We saw Tyrrell Hatton using some of it when he won at Wentworth earlier in the season, and it's been no kind of secret, this club line coming out. You know, there's been no cloak and dagger release or anything like that. It's all been out there for most people to see. So basically, we've all known this has been coming for a while, but what we didn't know is all the technology involved. So what I'm going to do now is talk you through some of the key technologies in here. Then we're going to hit them on the Trackman, have a bit of a look at the numbers and see exactly how they perform. So we've got three new drivers in the line, okay? We've got G425 LST, G425 MAX and G425 SFT. Now, they suit very different types of golfer. I don't have an SFT to test today, but I'll talk you through all the tech with it. But I do have the LST and the MAX to have a bit of a hit with. I've also been able to get a couple of different shafts from PING as well to have a play around with. So I'm going to fit myself for the product as we're going along and make sure that I've got the one that's performing the best for me. Now, let's talk a little bit about the technologies then. So basically, PING has looked at making the G425 line more forgiving. They've looked at moving weight around and also just making it slightly better for the end user in the way that if you don't hit the middle of the face, you're still going to get similar ball speeds to when we strike it out the centre. And this is quite a familiar story when we're looking at a lot of the clubs coming out this season, is this forgiveness one. I think we all are intelligent enough to know that the distance aspect of it is something that, you know, the golf manufacturers are working towards tolerances, and the ball's not allowed to come off more than a certain speed. So you're not really going to see drivers that are all of a sudden 20 yards longer than the one before. But what we can start to see is ones that might be 20 yards longer if you toe it or you heel it than you did before. And this is where a lot of the companies now are spending lots of money researching this, developing different technologies to try and get the most out of it when, you know, the end user, me and you, doesn't hit the center of the club face. And let's face it, we don't do that all the time. So the way PING's done that, they've got this brand new face in here. It's called T9S Plus forged face, and basically it's helping to make the face flex a little bit more and get a bit more distance and ball speed coming off it. So all of the drivers feature that technology. They've also changed what they call the dragonfly design on the top. So it's a way of saving weight in the crown to be able to move it around in the head a little bit more, and particularly it's helped them when they're adding these tungsten weights in the back, which we'll talk about because they're slightly different in each model. Now, obviously the dragonfly technology we've seen before, this is kind of an updated version of it really. We also see the turbulator technology on the top, which we've come to know PING for, and this is a way of making the head more aerodynamic, getting the air to flow around the head better and hopefully help you swing it a bit faster and get a bit more club speed. Now, the thing that you'll see in the entire PING line going forward is the Arccos Caddie Smart Grip, which is actually as standard in every single golf club now that you buy from PING, which I think is a fantastic addition. And we've seen it before. Cobra were the first to bring it to market, and Arccos have now teamed up with PING to deliver this product as standard to us, so that we can actually track how far we're hitting all the clubs and look at our data a little bit better and hopefully make ourselves slightly better golfers out there on the golf course. But let's talk about each individual model. So I'm going to start with the G425 LST. So when we're talking about LST, we're talking about low spin technology, okay? So this will be the lowest spinning of the three G425 drivers. And the way that Ping accomplished that is they've made the head size ever so slightly smaller. So this is a 445cc head, so ever so slightly smaller than the 460s that we see in the other models. It's available in 9 and 10.5 degrees, this head. So it's really going to suit that player potentially that's got slightly higher club head speed, maybe gets a little bit too much spin, and we just need to try and control that a little bit more. Now, that Ping are saying that this head spins about 200 RPM less on average than the G410 LST driver, and about 500 to 700 RPM less than the G425 MAX that's in this line. So it should be a hell of a lot lower spinning, really, and certainly I'm a player who generally spins a driver a lot, so I'm really looking forward to trying this model and seeing whether it helps me control that when I'm playing. Now, it's got all the same technology we spoke about earlier, so the T9S Plus forged face, it's got the dragonfly technology, turbulators on the top there, and we've got a tungsten weight in the back here that is movable as well, so we can shift it slightly more into the toe and slightly more into the heel, but it's quite a small adjustment that you can make on here, and it's not something that's going to promote a massive draw or a fade, but it can just move the mass slightly more behind the kind of strike. So if you're a player who tends to hit it sort of off center, maybe a bit more in the heel, you might just move that weight around just to help you a little bit. But it's definitely one that's going to suit that probably slightly better ball striker, with it being a smaller head, and also someone who spins the ball a little bit more. So that is the LST. So when we move on to G425 MAX, we see a slightly bigger head and bigger footprint, 460cc this time, available in 9, 10.5 and 12 degrees. This is the highest MOI driver in the line, so it's the one that's going to be the most forgiving and allow you to move the most weight back in the head. Now, we have a 26 gram weight in here that is able to be moved ever so slightly. Again, very similar to what we saw in LST, so we can shift it slightly into the heel if we need, or slightly into the toe just to help us if we need to. But this is the highest MOI driver actually in Ping's history, so we should see this being the most stable that they've ever produced. So I'm expecting it to go very, very straight, and I'd expect it to probably be the driver they sell the most of as well, because it kind of suits the broadest spectrum of golfer. Even though we have the low spin head and also the SFT, which we'll get onto, I think most golfers are going to fit into this head probably, because you're still going to get very good low handicap golfers and high club head speed players that still need the help that this driver gives you, and you're also going to get that type of player that maybe fits into SFT as well. But then equally you might get the odd higher handicap player who really needs that help of a lower spinning driver as well. But I think this is going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of golfers. Again, the technologies we spoke about before are all present in here too. The smart grips as well in every single club as standard. So that is G425 MAX. Now, as I've said, I don't have a sample of SFT, which is available in 10.5 degree, but it is the more draw bias. So straight flight technology is what SFT stands for, and it's really Ping's way of helping that player who maybe loses shots to the right a little bit, wants to help correct that. We have a 23 gram tungsten weight in that head. So we're able to move it a little bit more into the heel, we're able to get that toe turned over a little bit more and help that type of player to square the face a little bit better. Again, all the same technologies are present in that head. So we have the T9S Plus forged face, giving you better ball speed on your centered hits and also miss hits, and the new dragonfly technology helping move that weight around the head, and the turbulators as well. So like I say, I don't have one of those to try today, but to be honest, of the three, that's probably going to be the one that's going to suit me the least. So we probably wouldn't expect the numbers to be that great with those, and with that one anyway. So I'm going to give these two a hit now on the Trackman, have a bit of a play around with the different shafts as well, and then we'll have a look at some numbers and see exactly how they both perform. I must say, feedback wise, when hitting them, the G425 MAX I found looked a bit big behind the ball. I just didn't like the look of it really as much as the LST. And I don't know, something about the LST that just gave me a bit more confidence. I don't know why, because it should be the opposite really, but I just like the look of it better. And certainly when I started hitting it, I much preferred the sound. I mean, it must be said, I don't know if you guys can get it from the audio while I'm hitting it, but both of them are very loud when you hit them, very, very loud. And certainly when you compare them to some of the other drivers that have just come out, where a lot of them are kind of carbon composite and that sort of sound is much duller, it certainly is quite stark in contrast to it. But if we look at the numbers, so G425 MAX, we can see averaging 284 carry, 300 total, which is still pretty good. Ball speed wise, just shy of that 170 mark. Those of you that have seen videos I've done before, I'm always looking if I can get it between 170 and 180. That's pretty much where I am really when I'm swinging it pretty well, and this falls just short of that in the Max. And certainly when we look at the ball flights, we can see they're that little bit higher and spinnier. You can see the spin just over that 3,000 RPM as an average, but still not bad. They were pretty damn straight. Most of the shots I was hitting, there's one that's just gone right and probably just missed the fairway, but they were high, pretty straight, but not as far as the LST, which we'll come on to now. So if we look at that, yeah, I was swinging it a bit quicker. I don't know why. Is it because the head's a bit smaller? I don't know. But we can see there that we're getting a few more yards in carry, so we're only talking 5 yards here. It's not a lot, but we can see that it's having quite a big difference to the distance because the spin's so much lower, as we'd expect from this model. So we're getting around the kind of 300 RPM-ish less spin, so not quite as much as PING were claiming. They said 500 to 700 RPM, but obviously that's user error rather than the golf club. They were both set at 9 degrees, both with exactly the same shaft in. So the one I found that worked best for me was actually the PING shaft, the Tour 65X, which I tried in there, which was very, very good. And yeah, so getting just short of 117 miles an hour clubhead speed, so the ball's coming off that bit quicker. Now we are getting into that 170 to 180 bracket, which we'd expect with that bit more clubhead speed. But I just found that driver just nicer to hit. It just sat behind the ball nicer for me, and when the strikes came off, I just felt a bit more confident. If you look at the ball flights as well, yes, there's like one that's gone a little bit left on me, but the other three are literally straight down the fairway and hardly any shape on them, and certainly off the face they felt very, very good and very well hit. And we can see there's quite a difference in the height as well, which we'd expect with that more weight back in the head and bigger footprint to the G425 MAX. We'd expect that a little bit, and we can see 132 feet as an average as opposed to 104 with LST, so we can see it's quite a considerable difference in the height as well. But it was great to test both of these. Absolutely loved it. They both feel pretty good off the face, if not a little bit loud. That Max certainly is very loud, but the LST, I absolutely loved it, and some of the numbers I was getting there are very, very good as well, and certainly within those numbers that I would look for as me swinging the club quite well. If you've got any questions about G425, you want to know any more information, please put them in the comments section below. If you want to see this driver put up against another one, let us know as well, because we're more than up for doing things like that. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you all very, very soon.